Okay, welcome back to the DGS Presents YouTube channel. I'm Colin.
And I'm Krusty McGee, and I'm just pecking some whiskey.
Okay, well, today we venture back in time to an age of gangsters, speakeasies, flappers, and jazz, when President Harding hosted illicit gambling parties in the White House basement while Jack Dempsey and George Carpentier battled it out in the boxing ring in front of tens of thousands. When the Babe was cranking home runs and Bix Beiderbecke was blasting his trumpet. And this brings us to our next game discussion, TSR Gangbusters. So how you doing, Michael?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just popping some Dr. Pepper to make it look like whiskey.
Okay, that's not authentic at all, but
we'll just say it's whiskey.
Yeah, so anyway, so Gangbusters is basically a hybrid RPG and miniatures war game that TSR released back in 1982. The game itself takes place in the 1920s and 1930s in a fictional city on the shores of Lake Michigan. What city do you think that is?
Arizona? Wait, is that a city? No. Chicago? Chicago, yeah. Or Detroit, or Green Bay?
Yeah, really, in reality, yeah, you can run this game in any city, just as long as it really takes place during the 20s and 30s. I mean, I suppose you could, do a little bit earlier than that, back in the early part of the 20th century. And as we'll see in our second episode for this, and settings and scenarios, we'll talk about maybe using these rules and this system for maybe games in the 50s, 60s, or even the 70s. So
I like the 70s.
Yeah, I know you do. So the original game, though, was written by Rick Krebs and Mark Akers in 1982. It went through some later revisions. And Michael, if you want to pull up that box set there.
Oh, yeah, here we go. There's the one. It's all beat up.
This is the original box set. Inside, there were some like chits for cars. And there was the main rule book, which you can pull that up there too. There we go. All right, you got the guy on the side runners and the cars, the Tommy gun. You got the flapper girl, the gangster there. He's got a little bit of icing on the top of his head there. He's an older, more distinguished gangster. He's ruling over his nest. So that's the
before Grecians was invented.
Yeah, so, true.
Though Mr. Gray did get a lot of play, I'm just saying.
I'm pretty sure he did, yeah. And then they did do it like a later revision, and I think they called it third edition.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't remember there ever being a second edition.
Well, this was the second edition, but they, for some reason, did a third edition. I think it was probably a misprint. It's the 70s. A lot of marijuana cigarettes being smoked and everything is so groovy. You never know.
Yeah, well, I think that came out, I believe, in 1990. So 8 years later than the first edition. And what we've done for this episode here is we've broken this into two parts. Part one, which is today, we're going to deal with kind of the rules and procedures of Gangbusters, along with a short example of play, a little DGS quickie for you. And then in part two, we'll dive into settings and scenarios, some of the optional rules, and maybe introduce some other gangster RPGs, including new ones that came out like in the last 10 or 15 years.
Or new ones that we're writing right now.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
Oh, modules. I'm talking about
oh,
modules.
modules, yeah. Oh,
Modules.
true,
Now, we're
yeah.
not writing rules for this. I'm not smart enough to do that. Colin is, but I'm not. And I just want to write modules. They're fun.
Modules are a little more fun to write than rules, for sure. But
thanks.
yeah, so this game, pretty much when you crack it open, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create a character, and a character could be a FBI agent, like a G-man. It could be a police officer. It could be a boxer, because there's things like punching rules. I mean, it could be a flapper. Could be a seductress. Criminal. I mean, you can play anything you want. I think that I think that the game kind of, lends itself to playing a policeman or a G-man. And in our little scenario, that's kind of the route that we're going to take, but it is pretty flexible. So, yeah, so I'm going to bring up the list here. Yeah. And
are you ready? Let's create a character.
Yeah, let's create a character.
And here we are. Let's create a character. So I have
do you have your dice ready? You have your sheet?
I have my dice. Here we go. Never played before. So let me grab a pencil.
The system uses D10 and D100. So that's pretty much all you need. There may be some other dice used for like weapon damage and stuff, but those are the primary dice that you use.
Right. Well, I got shit. I'm destroying my laptop. Okay, here we go. And I got extra dice just in case.
Right. You have your ring?
Yeah, I have my ring. And if I need more die, I have my Royal Crown bag. Of
course, yeah.
Lots of dice in here. Okay, here we go. We're ready to roll the die. I have my character sheet.
Okay, you got your sheet. Let's pull up the crate. There's the character sheet. Okay, this is what we're going to be filling out. And as a matter of fact, let's get to the character creation here.
Yeah. So
the first thing you're going to want to do is create a character name. And what name do you want to use, Michael?
Well, I'm creating a new character. Hold on, let me get rid of this so you can see our faces. So takes place in the 1920s. But what I wanted to do is maybe update the character for a more modern audience, because that's very popular now, and it really brings a new level, to a gaming system. Especially this was made in '82, and so things were different back then. So since this takes place in the 20s, I'm going to update this for a modern audience. So I'm going to have an African American father married to an Irish Catholic mother. So. Okay. Because what I want to do, so the character's name is Abraham McDonald. And so what I'm going to do, now I have to go for an ethnic background. So I'm going to go on to the interwebs and find out what the term in the 1920s would have been called, because I want to make sure I get my ethnic background correct, at least for this thing. So let's see. And we're going to, I'm in the wiki, and then I'm going to look, and okay, here we go. Let's see what that would have been considered back then. And, okay, that's a bit problematic. Okay, so now let me look, and let me see if there's a slang word that's not as rough. Or less harsh. And no. Okay. He's going to be Caucasian, a whitey. So his name is Kevin McDonald, and he is white. Okay. So that sometimes you just can't go too modern with this stuff.
Thanks for trying to be inclusive there, Michael.
I was trying to be my best, but I spent most of my life not being canceled, mostly. Though the Me Too movement almost got me 4 times.
So then you have your age, and how old are you going to be?
I'm going to be 21. Because
only
I'm
21.
Well, yeah, it's like middle age back then, right?
I suppose so. I mean, you're going to be a G-man, right? FBI?
Yeah. I have to have maybe a college education, right? So I would have been, graduated. I think back then they only took like college boys, right? Am I right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think the rule set actually says anything about that. I assume that if you had to be one of the upper ranking guys in the FBI, certainly had to be a college kid. But I think it was a little laxer back then versus now. I mean, not many people went to college back then.
All right then. All right, my height. So let me see what the average height.
No, we have to determine that. That's determined by your muscle. Or, it can be determined by your muscle. And we'll get to that in a minute. Or you can just create your own height and weight.
Well, what I wanted to do is double check to see what the average height of a person back in the 1920s was to, maybe make it a little bit more authentic and stuff like that. So I'm going to go on Wiki again, of course, because that's where you get all the information from. And we are going to look at that. So the average height of a male in the 1920s was 4'3". So I want to be more of an impressive figure. So I'm going to be like 5'10". I'm going to be like a giant cutting like this figure of man. Like it's almost like the Wizard of Oz, right? I may be looking at the wrong website, but my nickname will be Stretch because I'm going to be like almost like 4 feet taller than all the other guys.
There we go.
No, is that
Kevin Stretch McDonald? There we go.
That's me.
Yeah,
God, that sounds awful white. Like big time. Hello, Whitey.
I got this G-man following me. His name's Kevin the Stretch.
Yeah.
What can you do for me here, Tony? Come on. Get this guy off my back. What do we got to do? We got to grease a few palms. We got to spread a little money around. We got to make a few threats. I don't want it to get ugly. Right? This guy, Kevin, we got to do something about him.
Yeah, he's like a giant.
I know. He's
so huge.
Big, tall, skinny guy.
Yeah. He hits his head on doorways. It's crazy.
Yeah. So now, do you have any, like, if you look on this sheet, marks or scars? Do you have any marks or scars?
Oh, no. I'm pretty boy, just like I am now.
Perfect, huh?
No marks on this Adonis body of mine. Listen.
Now, your address, we're going to start in Detroit.
Detroit, Rock City.
Yeah, hey, you're going to be in Detroit, Rock City.
Get down.
Your profession, you're a G-man.
My hair is getting, my professional straight cut is getting out of the way with my ponytail. I tied that thing back.
Yeah, I don't think that's FBI regulations there, Captain.
Yeah, no kidding.
I won't tell anybody.
High and tight.
Look at these guys.
Enough about my wife.
They think we're the degenerates and they got like ponytails and everything. I mean, look at this. Come on.
I know. The hippies weren't even here yet. We called them. I'm not going to say because I don't want to get canceled, but gypsies. Okay, I said it.
It's your profession. Your FBI. I don't know your salary, what it would be. There's some table somewhere in the book. Let's say it's
like 10 grand a year or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. You might get a bonus. There's a rank, but you're not a cop.
Right.
You're level 1.
On the FBI would be what? I'm sure I'm sure they had rankings.
I think it's just agent.
New guy.
Yeah, I think you're just agent, like Agent Mulder.
Okay. Agent. All right. Political party. I'm a Whig. Oh, wait.
I was looking at that in the book. It's like pretty much Republican or Democrat, but I mean, you could secretly be like a Eugene Debs supporter. You could be like a socialist or like a wobbly or something. I mean, there's nothing against that, I guess. But I mean, FBI man as a socialist, I can't see it.
Oh, come on.
What would the mafia think about that anyway, right?
Yeah, but I could be
wouldn't be impressed at all. I mean, we're business.
An undercover commie, trying to undermine America. I don't know what that is.
G-men are bad enough. Now they're all a bunch of commies.
Okay, well, back then, Democrats weren't like crazy like they are now.
Or the Republicans for that matter.
Or them. No, like no one was crazy back then. So I'll be a Democrat because if I say Republican, then it'll be all like, make America great twice again or whatever. I'll get like stigmatized and canceled. Don't need that. Not even if it's the 1920s, I tell you.
Okay, so now we move on to the ability scores.
Dude, I did not take my medication, if you cannot tell. Okay, here we go.
And I think we have like a little checklist or something in there, right? I'm like, I want to bring that up.
All right, yeah, let's bring that back.
I can just read it off.
Are we looking?
There we go.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so how this
you don't
basically
get to see
works?
Our pretty mugs for a minute.
Yeah,
right, here we go.
Get your dice ready, okay? Because what we're going to have to do is fill out the
Colin, can you blow on these? Colin, can you blow on my dice, please?
Yeah, there you go. Can you hear that?
You just okay. All right, here we go. So the first one is muscle.
And what we're going to do here is a matter of fact, if you just want to bring up the rule book real quick there, Michael, I just want to show the audience something.
All right.
And then we'll come back to this.
I like to show the audience something too, if you know what
I
mean. Okay.
Flip down just a few pages to character creation. There we go. One up.
I gotta go back. I can't zoom in. Okay.
So this is the character creation process, which we're going to be following. And what you're going to do first is you're going to roll a D100 for your muscle, and then you're going to apply a bonus based on that ability modifiers table in the upper right-hand corner there.
Okay, I'm going to roll.
Put the two figures together.
All right, Colin, you're going to do my math for me, right? Because you're calling the brain Higgins.
Yeah.
All right, so I rolled. Oh shit! I rolled a 90. You
rolled a 90.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Stretch.
Holy shit. Yeah. No shit. Holy Christ.
Okay.
All right, so
that gives you a +5 modifier.
So
on your sheet, okay, under muscle, 95. You're going to want to write 90 + 5 for a total of 95.
Wow. Okay.
So you are strong SOB.
I'm a strapping young lad, which is not unusual because I've always been a strapping young lad.
I can see the muscles bulging out of the shirt there, Michael.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It's crazy.
So the next thing that we want to do is we want to check what your agility is going to be. Now, muscle, I'll kind of go through these as we go, right. but muscle is obviously just like it sounds. It's going to affect your ability for hand-to-hand combat, to force doors open,
to be a strong man. Oh, honey! Okay, sorry, a little Rocky Horror there.
Anyway, so that's your muscle. Your agility is super important in the game, which is the next one that we're going to check, because that, for instance, determines your ability to shoot a gun.
All right. So,
and, either jump over crevasses or climb walls or all that good stuff. So go ahead and roll a D100 again.
All right. That was a 39, not two, because I have like sausages for fingers.
Well, you're a big strapping guy. You're just not super agile, but a 39 gives you a bonus of +15.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's 54.
Oh.
Total. So put in
54.
39 + 15. That's 54, right? 54.
Okay, cool.
And put that in the total.
Like I said, I got these big sausage fingers trying to pull a 38 trigger. Come on.
Your meat hooks.
Yeah,
I got your meat hooks. And the next thing we're going to want to check,
like that guy, oh shit, what film was that from? It was like these big giant arms and stuff like that. League of Gentlemen or whatever it's called.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, with the guys with the big fist.
I thought you were talking about Puppet Master. Remember the puppet with the giant, huge arms? He had the tiny little head, like a little pea head with massive arms.
Okay.
You're not quite that bad. I mean, you have some agility. You're not total
like in real life.
You're not a gorilla.
Skinny. Okay. Observation.
Next thing you want to check is observation. Now, observation, is pretty self-explanatory, but it's important to have a high score because you're not as easy to surprise.
Oh.
You can notice things easier. And it's pretty good for, listening at doors and general investigation. So let's go ahead and roll the observation and see what you get on that.
All right, so it's D100.
Make sure you're writing these down.
I am.
All right.
61.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Ooh.
Okay, so 61 gives us a modifier of 10, so it's 71 total.
Okay. 71, groovy. Presence.
And now this one's a bit different. A presence roll is basically kind of like your charisma. And this is actually a D10 roll. It's a little bit different. And in the rule, there's also a modifier table. Go ahead and roll me a D10 there, Michael.
All right, let's roll that. A 9.
Okay, so it's modifier plus 0, so you just get a 9.
Okay, so just a 9. So, for example, if like the presence, so I just roll a D10 on that. So I have to roll what?
It would be, yeah, a presence check. And it's funny because it's the presence check isn't talked about until like way late in the book. And they talk about like giving a speech in front of people and rolling a D10 to see if you roll under your presence score.
And if you roll under, you're
successful.
You're good to go. Okay,
right.
Fine.
When we get to the rules section, we'll talk about more about what the successor roll is. Okay, now we have driving, which is our agility.
You know how much I love driving. I don't.
Yeah, so to get your character's driving score, add together your scores for agility and observation.
All right, let's
put those in.
Let's see.
Add them together and then divide the total by 2.
Okay, so let's see. Let me get my calculator out here because I'm an idiot. All right, so agility, which is 54,
plus your observation.
Observation is 61, and divided by 2. Which is what, 84.5? Is that right?
Right. So it would be if it says if there's a remainder added. So we'll just call it 84.
84. Wait, aren't we supposed to round up?
It says if there is a remainder, add it to the final answer. So like if you have a remainder of 1, you would add 1, right?
Okay. So 84 then you're saying.
Yeah, we'll just say 84.
I'm getting screwed, I think, by 1 point, I think.
Oh yeah, that's going to be.
See, this is the problem with DMs. They screw you.
Good thing we don't have a DM in this game. We're not going through a dungeon here, Michael. I mean, my God.
Well, we're going through Detroit.
What episode do you think this is? That was like 2 episodes ago.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm an idiot. What are you going to say?
He's in there.
Okay, so I did my calculations.
Okay, you got that. And then we got to figure out our luck.
Lucky with the ladies.
Yeah, you might be. Let's find out. It says to get your character's luck score, roll the percentile die.
Okay, oh geez.
Dice.
Okay. I have a feeling this is not going to be very lucky. 27.
Oh my God. Okay, and then divide by 2.
I had a feeling, man.
All right, divide that by 2. Right, so it's going to be, if there's a remainder, you add it, so it's basically 14.
14. Oh shit,
man, dude, you are like, now as we're going to see, luck comes into play in this game. For instance, in a situation where somebody shoots you and you would die if it went like right through your neck, you would roll a luck check to see whether or not you actually die. So,
oh, dude, this is the time I should have cheated. I was honest with all the rolls. This is the one I should have said, 100. All right, here we go. Now hit points.
So, your name is Stretch, not Lucky.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
So now we got to figure out our hit points. All right, let me go back over here. So
okay,
hit points is looks like it's muscle plus agility.
All right, so let's see. My muscle is 95.
Yep. Add together your muscle and agility scores and then divide the sum by 10.
Divided by 10 equals what? 100.4. So it's 100 plus 5. So 105. Is that correct? Did I not divide that correctly?
Let's see. So you
95 plus.
No, it's add the characters' muscle and agility scores, and then divide it by 10.
Yeah. So I did that. So that's 149. And then I divided by 10. Oh, wait, shit. Okay, no. I messed up because, I'm a looker, not a mather.
College.
Dude, I'm a looker, not a brainiac. So 149.
I shouldn't joke. My kid's in community college.
Okay. Dude, I went to Columbia College, man.
Film school.
Yeah, that's true too.
I went to a real school, Michael.
I know. All right, 14.9. So
School of Hard Knocks.
So, dude, I love film school. Hey, listen, I wrote and directed an actual feature film. So
I know you did.
Balls. It sucked, but it still was made. Okay, so it looks like 20 would be my hit points.
Okay, and you record that on your sheet. That sounds correct. Okay.
Dude, I don't know.
Not over 100. I'm like, wait,
I like the 100 a lot better.
I'm like, how am I going to kill this bastard, right?
Have him do math. That'll kill him.
Now, the next thing we want to get is your punching score.
Oh, punching. Yeah. What is the punching score? Do I have to pull up that thing again?
It's on the bottom of that page 4. To get your character's punching score, find his muscle score on the punching table. So your muscle's like what, 95, right?
Yeah. So
your punching score is 5.
Okay.
Wow. Dude, you just like beat the shit out of people.
Dude, I'm going to be like Popeye.
Stretch.
I think I'm going to change my nickname to Popeye. It's like full on fisticuffs and everything like that.
Every game just features like a savage beatdown from Stretch. It's like roughing people up.
It's just like
he's a nasty G-man.
Away.
It's like French Connection with like Popeye Doyle when he comes in that bar, just starts beating the shit out of everybody. That's pretty much what it's going to be.
Like family reunions, baptisms, weddings. He just rolls in and just like punching the crap out of people because that's what you do.
Okay.
That's his character trait.
Now you also start with some money and equipment. So in the game, you start with 2 suits of clothes, including coats, ties, wallet, watch, comb, and toiletries. I guess you could probably fit that in a suitcase and carry it around, right? When you move from city to city as a low-level G-man.
Hey, man, I go where the crime is.
You do. As we're going to find out.
Get into lots of fist fights at weddings and bar mitzvahs. Yeah.
You also start with $850 in cash.
Ooh. Got the cash.
And any items a character normally would get from his employer, like such as a police uniform or weapon.
Yeah, a holster, a 38. I'm assuming it'll be a 38.
Yeah, we'll give you a 38. And we'll look at the firearms table in just a sec.
All right. Let me you want me to pull up the rules again? Here we go.
Now it's kind of interesting because there is a little bit later in the book, there is a height and weight table, and it's based on your muscle. So like if you have a muscle of 10, like you'd be only like 5'4", right? Like 90 pounds, right? But your guy's a muscle of 95. So you would be between 5'10" and 6'4" and 190 to 240 pounds.
Okay. Well, I was pretty close at the 5'10". So I'll just stick to 5'10" since that's why I wrote down. And actually, the average height of a person in the 1920s, I think, was like 5'6".
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, people were not nearly as big.
Well, it's before processed foods.
Yeah, so now basically we have a character created, right, Michael? That's pretty much filled out.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, I have everything.
There might be some other stuff on this sheet, but this is what we need to play.
Yeah, basically. So I created. Here's the original character sheet, basically. So I created a new one for our game here. So I will Art Deco on it.
Okay, so cool. And what I'll do is I'll put that up on the I'll link to it.
As long as we don't get
people
sued.
can go grab that if they want it. And okay, so now let's talk a little bit deeper about the rules. Okay. So the game is, like I said, it's like a hybrid RPG / miniatures game, in the sense that much of the game revolves around tactical combat between characters and enemies. In combat, if you go into it, it's basically separated in what we call turns. And interestingly enough, in this game, a turn is 1 second long. So there's real limits to how far you can move in 1 second. There is a table in the book. Let me see if I can quickly get to it. And I'll talk about the luck check in a moment here as well. Let's see, movement. Yeah, so like a movement action, it's on page 9. I don't know if you want to bring that up. There you go. If you can flip all the way to page 9. Keep going. One more.
All right, you're killing me. It says page 9. Now I'm on 10.
There we go.
All right, here we go.
There we go.
Right,
this is the page. I can turn the page too. I can just take command here. Okay.
Hey, take command.
Yeah. So down the bottom here, we have some actions that you can do within that basically 1 second turn. I could walk 5 feet, run 15 feet, crawl, leap, fall prone, stand up, turn around, open or move through a door. So it's not a lot of time. So there's going to be a lot of turns in combat that are going to happen. It's not like, AD&D where a round is a minute, or classic D&D where it's 10 seconds, or even newer D&D. This is very granular. So it's kind of miniatures like. During combat, what we would do is, as we're going to see in our example, is during the combat sequence, the first thing typically we do is we check for surprise, and that will be an observation roll. And because this is a D100 system, we would do a percentile check, right? So let's say if your observation score is 54 and you roll a 40, it's a success, right? You would succeed in your observation roll. The next thing we would do is some movement. We would move to close, for instance, for a fist fight. All other characters would move half after that. You would resolve fist fights, then you would resolve gun fights, and then you would finish movement. Let's see here. So we talked about the actions. Like, for instance, if you want to break down a door as like a skill check, you would use your muscle, right, to force the door.
Dude, I am going to knock down so many doors. Like, I go home to see my mother, just knock the door down. And there'll be like, in the hallway, there'll be like 10 doors lined up because they know every time I come, I'm going to break a door, and they'll just put a new one on.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that could be a recurring motif. You're just knocking down doors. Like, you can't open
go
them.
into the FBI stations, knock the doors, and they're like, oh, Jesus.
That's when you knew you wanted to be a G-man, because when you were a kid, you were just knocking down doors.
It's like, we call him Stretch. It's more like an asshole. Door breaker.
Now,
that's why I'm not allowed in churches anymore. And those doors are heavy, thick. All right, I'll let you continue. Goodbye.
Okay. So let's flip over to the next page here. We're going to talk a little bit about gunfights, and then we'll talk about driving a little bit and a few other things. So it's going to be an agility check to fire a weapon, and there are different types of weapons. And there's a chart on page, what is that, 11? If we can flip over to that, I have, there we go, on the lower right-hand corner here. So on that chart, you're going to see that there are different weapons with ranges and feet. There's damage in hit points that you would take or you would deliver to the enemy, the rate of fire, and the ammo that is in the cartridge. Now, in the game, there's wounds, which you can suffer, and you'll see that in your character sheet. And there's also like bruising damage. Bruising damage obviously is non-fatal. If you go to 0 or whatever, you just get knocked out. But if wounds, if you suffer all of your hit points in wounds, you can die. There are ways to heal. Each day of rest heals 3 points of bruises and 1 wound. It's assumed you're getting some sort of medical treatment when you're resting. You can make a luck check if you receive enough wounds during an encounter that would normally kill you. Like if somebody like opened up on you with a Tommy gun, you can make a luck check to see if you survive. A successful roll means you take only one wound.
Yeah, my luck is
not good.
Hockey.
Yeah, it's not good. Now, other effects of injury, this is kind of an important rule. A character who has wounds equal to or greater than 1/2 his or her number of hit points suffers 3 special effects. Your muscle, agility, and driving scores are reduced by 20 points. The character's movement rate is halved. So you can't move as far. The character must be treated by a doctor within 24 hours, and any character who's not treated by a doctor within 24 hours will die at the end of that time.
Railer.
Yeah, now, character unconsciousness. If a character receives points of injury of any type equal to or greater than that of its hit point score, the character is unconscious. And then, of course, if it's wounds, you can die. Okay, let's look at some of these other types of guns. You'll see in this list here on this page. Actually, that was the correct page, actually. It's page 11.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, keep going. Or maybe it's one more down. Here it is, this page.
Oh, there we go.
So there are some special weapons here. There's a Tommy gun. Now, a Tommy gun can be fired in a burst of 10 shots at a -30 penalty to your agility. Okay, so you're not as accurate with it, but you are firing 10 shots. Against one opponent, a Tommy gun will deal out 20 wounds, 15 wounds to 2 people, and 40 points divided among 3 people. And the gun has a 20 bullet clip or a 50. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to get hit by a Tommy gun. That would be really bad. And generally, G-men don't use Tommy guns unless they're going into some major encounter with like a whole bunch of gangsters and some, organized raid of some kind. You're not going to see too many times.
Bonnie and Clyde about that.
Now, there's also this thing called a Browning automatic rifle. This can fire 3 shots per round, or I'm sorry, per turn as a semi-automatic.
Now, this was a World War I rifle, I believe, right?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, you would know just as well as me. I don't know if I've ever seen one of these before.
They pop it in, pop, and then it shit.
Right, it's like
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a World War I weapon, which makes sense. It's still the 1920s, so.
Yep. So you do get a little bit of a penalty for firing 3 shots around. It's -0 for the first shot, -10 for the second, and -20 for the third. Now, there's an optional rule for aiming. You can get a +10 modifier if you're aiming your gun, and you have to take a turn to do that. So you have to, basically not do anything for that turn except aim.
Right.
There's also a shotgun, and this is kind of fun. If you look at that, at the bottom of this page, you'll see this weird looking like graph down here at the bottom, and this illustrates basically how the shotgun works. If you fire a shotgun at somebody at a range of 25 feet, it'll do 15 points of wound damage. So if somebody's pretty close to you within 15 feet, you're just destroy the guy with a shotgun. From 26 to 75 feet, it'll hit everyone in the burst range for 5 wounds. And from 76 to 225 feet for 2 points. So you can do a lot of damage to a whole bunch of people with a shotgun.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now, there's also on this same page here up on the top right-hand corner, there's all these modifiers for gunfights. So, for instance, if the target is crawling or on the ground, they're harder to hit, so it's -5, right? If they're running, leaping, or jumping, it's -80. Then we have coverage rules. Like if they're behind cover, it's -30. If you're trying to fire into a car moving slow, you're going to get -10. Interestingly enough, I think in the rules at one point it says that you cannot do like Tommy gun bursts to people that are inside cars. I think the assumption there is it's just not accurate enough to just spray everybody in the car. If a car is moving fast, you get -30. And then if a firing character, for instance, is prone, right, you're going to get a bonus of +5. You might get a bonus for using a rifle, aiming. If you're in a car and it's moving slow, you're going to get a penalty, right, for trying to fire out the window. And then you see the firing the burst is -30. You can fire 2 pistols in a gunfight at the same time, but you're going to get -40. Right, so if you're trying to be like Wild West with 2 pistols and firing, it's going to be pretty difficult to be accurate while doing that. So we also have vehicle rules, which I'm not going to get too deep in the vehicle rules. There is a car movement table on page 15. Here, let's see if we can. Yeah, maybe it's back here. Is this page 15? Nope. I got to go. Now, here we go. Okay, here we go. Lower left-hand corner here, we have car movement table. This determines how fast a car can move right within a given turn. There are rules for changing speed and making turns when you're in a car. For instance, on this page in the upper right-hand corner, it says a car moving slow or fast speed can turn 45 degrees to the right or to the left if it has traveled at least 15 feet in a straight line. So if you're using the chits, the little car chits, on a graph, on a mat, there's certain things that you have to, procedures you have to follow as far as moving these things around the board. So this means that the car can turn 45 degrees in each 15-foot square it enters, or in each third 5-foot square it enters. If the car is moving at slow speed, one of these turns can be at a 90-degree turn, only if it's moving slow. If a car is moving fast, it can make one 90-degree turn if it does not make any 45-degree turns. So you just got to follow these pretty logical rules as far as driving the car. You can't. It's not like the movie Tron where you can just do like a 90-degree turn at like 90 miles an hour. Right? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, but that'd be awesome.
It would be pretty cool. That would be a very special car. But no, it has to be. It has to be logical. Then we have on the next page, there's a table here for driving checks. And there's also a crash table if you fail a driving check under certain circumstances, or if another car enters the square that you're on in the same turn, right? You can crash if you don't make a crash, if you don't make your driving check. There is a crash table there. It says if, for instance, if a car is crashing while going through an intersection, the car should be placed in the center of an intersection. Car hit NPC's car in the intersection. So it kind of gives you an idea of where you're moving the pieces and everything. And then there's a crash damage table on the right there, which is kind of fun. It just basically says if you roll a D20 here, oh wow, I need a D20 for this. If you roll it, it's going to be injury to passengers and damage to car. And I like the fact that if you roll a 20, right, the injury to passengers is 20 points each. That's wound damage. And then roll and explode, car totally destroyed. So it's like,
oh, sweet.
That could be a total TPK, right? You have the whole party just charging down the highway.
Yeah,
and just
like
goes
back and
flying
forth
off the
and
highway.
like that, and they flip over. Like I said, this sounds like it could be like really exciting. You got the right DM there and everyone's rolling and stuff like that. And you're like building up the tension. You're hitting those corners and sparks are flying and your bullets are all over the place. And then you roll the car and it explodes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could fail a couple driving checks and fly off a bridge and then roll a 20 on the crash damage and the car blows up.
Hit a fire hydrant the water gushes up and you have to drive through it. Oh my God. Sounds fun.
Now you can make luck checks depending on the situation, right? And there's
Not
also
me.
rules for pedestrians. And any pedestrians about to be hit by a car should be checked for surprise on the turn before he will be hit to give him a chance to get out of the way.
I'm sure they'll be surprised.
And then on the next page, there's like an example of movement and fighting and driving. But we'll look at that in a moment on our own, because we're going to do a little TGS quickie. There also, one thing I didn't mention a little bit earlier in the book here, there's rules for fist fights.
That might come in handy with my big fists of cuffs. Just saying.
Yeah, there's it's one page previous they talk about this, I think. Is it? Hold on here. Oh, this is the right page. My bad. Okay. So, fist fights, very self-explanatory. You have to use a turn to close for fighting. There's different things you can do. You can try to overbear somebody or wrestle them. The person can try to break free. And then again, like for instance, a character who tries to break free after they've been, basically grabbed in like a wrestling hold, they must make an agility check. If the character is being held, there's a -20 modifier. If he passes the check, he's immediately placed 15 feet away from his opponent, and so he can escape.
Yeah, Colin, you might want to keep that page open when we run our little quickie, because I'm going to be punching the heck out of people.
Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want. And then there's also an option here for disarming. A character can disarm an opponent by knocking the weapon from his hand. A character trying to disarm an opponent makes an agility check with a modifier of -20. If the disarming attempt is successful, the disarmed character drops his or her weapon in the same square. So there's a number of things you can do. And then on the next page, there are some damage statistics for things like baseball bats, lead pipes, brass knuckles, knives, broken bottle, or even an axe and a sword.
Ooh, can we go to the prostitution section of the
That's episode 2. That's episode 2. We'll get into that in depth. I think there's something about brothels in here. I know the speakeasies. We're going to talk about the speakeasies for sure.
Yes, I want to role play that.
That'd be presence check. But again, we'll get to that.
All right.
So okay, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and just run a little scenario using the character that you just rolled up. We'll have some fun with that.
All right, so we're going to do a DGS quickie.
Okay. All right, so Kevin, you're called into your superior's office. It's, Sergeant Carmichael says, "Listen, Kevin,
Mr. Carmichael.
Yeah, we've you've only been here in the bureau for a short time, but I got a somewhat important job for you. There's this guy that we've been trying to keep our eye on. His name is if you want to bring him up there, Michael. His name is Baby Doll Jacobson. So now you might know Baby Doll Jacobson is the ball player, right, for the Tigers.
Oh yeah, he's a slugger. I love him.
He is. Yeah, he's a slugger in more ways than one. The public knows him as a talented center fielder for the Detroit Tigers, but the Bureau suspects him of fixing games on behalf of gangster Arnold the Brain Rothstein.
Oh,
Jacobson was, that guy.
I lost money on that game.
Jacobson was recently arrested for pistol whipping a fellow ball player at the Hotel Pontchartrain in Detroit, but the victim refused to press charges. You've been working on the Jacobson case for a few months now, and as the GM now comes in, you suspect he's meeting with a gangster on the outskirts of town, and you want to follow him as he leaves the vicinity of Detroit in his Packard and takes off into the suburbs. All right, so get your dice ready here.
So I'm following this guy, right?
You are.
All right. So dice are ready. All right, DM.
All right. So you see his Packard basically drive off the highway. Well, it's not even really a highway. Back then it was just paved roads. And he drives into the countryside on dirt and gravel roads into kind of a marshy district south of Detroit. No street lamps. Everything's dark. Weather's not really good. There's a mist that's kind of covering everything. And you just see the lights of his Packard as it drives basically into the darkness, but you're able to follow him.
I wonder if I should turn off my lights so he doesn't know he's being trailed.
Okay. So what I'm going to do
I might need some driving skills here.
All right. So I rolled a 72 for his observation. He hasn't noticed you yet following me. Turn off your lights and you just try to follow him. So what I'm going to need is a driving check there, Michael.
Okay.
Or should I say Kevin?
So my driving is 84.
All right.
And I rolled a 41. So I cut the lights.
All right. So you cut the lights and you're able to basically follow him without, going off the dirt road or crashing into a tree.
Taillights. Yeah,
you're staying close enough.
Okay.
Ultimately, you see Jacobson pull over into a field, and from a distance you see his door open, and he cuts the lights, and you see a shadowy figure move towards what appears to be a house of some kind of small house out in the outskirts of Detroit.
All right, so I'm going to quietly open the door and get out of my car.
Okay, you do that.
Check to make sure I have my weapon holstered.
All right, you got your 38.
Start kind of like making my way through the weeds and the things like that. As long as I can get like close enough to the house, I'll try to go unobserved, as it were.
Okay, so you start creeping up to the house, and you're really irritated because your new leather shoes are getting all muddy and nasty from this kind of marshy land that's where this house is located. Yeah, doesn't look like anybody's been here in a while.
Into my wool socks. Ugh, not happy.
You hear a noise of a door close up ahead. And ultimately, you move within the vicinity of the house, and you see what appears to be around the house. You see kind of a dim amber light pouring out of the windows.
Let me get over here. So this is the house here. So I'm using the classic TSR game pieces. So here I am.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me zoom in on this.
Sure.
Because you can't really see that. All right, I'm zoomed in now.
There you go. Okay.
All right, so here we are, zoomed in. So here I am.
Okay, so you see this.
A model. I see a prostitute out there.
Are those chits that came with the game?
Yeah, well, these are the actual chits.
Yeah.
I kind of blew them up a little bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go.
For fun.
I thought they looked a little different.
So there's a prostitute there. I want to question her. Wait, is she there or
no? She's not there. No, you're just fantasizing. You thought you saw a woman, but turns out it was just a tree blowing in the wind. A willow tree.
I got extra spending money. I'm just saying. All right, so I will approach the building. So this is the cabin.
Okay.
Or the structure.
All right, you hear some do this. You see some amber light escaping from the windows. You heard a door close. Aside from that, you don't hear too much, but you can move closer and try to make a little more closer investigation of the property. Okay, and that's the door there, or the front door on the left. Okay. I'm not sure what that meant, but okay. So are you listening? Okay. Are you gonna look through the window? What are you doing, Michael?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I'm getting used to this.
Okay.
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 So
what are you going to listen?
Yeah, I want to go to the window here.
Sure.
And peer in.
Okay.
Do I need to make an agility as I move around to see if he hears me or no?
Well, that wouldn't be an agility check. He would make an observation roll, right?
Okay.
So
that's fine. So I'm going to move to the window here.
Let me roll over here. Okay. I'm not going to tell you if he heard you or not.
And so a prostitute comes up, and
no, she doesn't.
She assist me? She doesn't. Okay.
She doesn't. Okay. So you look through the window. Now, I'm going to say that there's more than one room to this place. Okay. Because I have a little bit better of an idea. So you look in through this window and you see basically an empty room, but there's a couple doors. There's one to the north and one to the west, and those are closed.
Okay.
You don't hear anything.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
I want to see if I mean, I could go through the door, I suppose, but maybe I can be. I want to see if I can open the window.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a muscle check.
All right. Let me give you a muscle check. And I rolled a 90 out of 95.
You made it. So the window is jammed shut. Looks like it's been shut for ages, hasn't been opened, but you managed to just basically force it up. It does make a little bit of noise when you do that. You don't know if he heard you, but you did manage to open up the window. Okay.
I'm going to try to, I want to go in to the room.
Okay. All right. You creep into the room.
An agility to get through the window?
Sure. Go ahead.
38, and my agility is 54.
You make it. So one thing I forgot to mention in the game is that a roll of basically 100 is always a failure. And there are critical rules for shooting if you roll very, very low, like a 0-1. Well, we'll get to that if it comes up, like a critical hit. All right. So you're in the room. You see there's some, things on the shelves, some like farming implements and empty jugs and like an old can of gasoline and that kind of thing. And then you see the two doors, one to the west and one to the north.
Okay. Well, I know this door leads to the outside.
Correct.
And probably that one. So I'm going to move across. I'm going to pull out my 38, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm going to move across the floor and listen at this door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll observation check for me.
All right. Observation. I have a 71 observation. I rolled, I rolled a 91.
You don't hear a thing.
I do not hear a thing, which probably means there's no one there.
Okay.
So I could just open that door.
Might be your assumption, right?
Well, since I don't hear anything, and you don't get like second chances on this, right?
No, not with that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to check to see if the door is like, turn the handle and see if I can open the door.
Okay. It does. It opens towards you, and it's a closet.
Who's in the closet?
Nobody. There's like a mop, a can, some old clothes. That's about it. It's just an empty closet.
Okay. Well, then what I would like to do is go to this door and listen at it.
Okay.
Roll me a observation.
Yep.
Hopefully I'll roll better. So that's 71. And God darn it. 96.
You don't hear anything.
I hear nothing. I'm like Schultz. I hear nothing. Well, I'm going to test the handle and see if it's locked.
Okay, it is not.
It is not.
Opens
Well, I'm going to
inward.
slowly open the handle or the door.
Okay, it opens into a relatively well-lit room.
Ah.
And so you open it up and you see that there's a rug, just a simple, like a wool rug on the floor.
Okay.
There is a cupboard, like a tall cupboard on the wall directly in front of you in the corner.
Okay.
To your right, there are a couple small wooden chairs, just like stools, and then there's a big oak desk. And behind the oak desk is a large leather-bound chair. It's like a high-backed, leather-bound chair, like on wheels.
And a prostitute.
On the other side of no prostitute, and that's on the other side of the desk. So if you go in straight forward, you see there's like a cupboard. There's another window. There's a couple chairs, rug, desk, and then there's this chair that is this leather-bound chair that is turned around and not facing you.
All right. Can I do an observation to see if someone's sitting in the chair? Like look,
sure.
Like like if there's feet sitting, like I know it's not facing me, but if someone's sitting in the chair, you might see feet underneath.
True. Do you kind of crouch down to look to see if you can see feet?
Yeah, I saw my iron out. So this time I rolled a 60 for observation. My observation is 71.
Okay, well, that was a pretty smart plan because there is a gap underneath the desk where you can kind of see all the way to the far wall, and you lean down. There's appears to be enough light that you can make out the fact that there does not appear to be feet on the other side of that chair. But just as you do that, that cupboard that's directly in front of you, that tall cupboard bursts open, and out comes a guy with a gun. And you look at him, and he's an ugly son of a bitch. He's got a weird, kind of balding, kind of pasty white face, and he's a big guy. He's like 6'4", and it looks like it's Baby Doll. He's got a gun, and he's coming for you.
All right, is he there, and I'm here, or am I more in the middle of the room?
You're more towards the middle of the room, so he's only about maybe 10 feet from you.
He's got his gun out, right?
He's got a gun out. He's got a pistol out.
Well, I'm going to have to protect myself. Normally, I would just beat the heck out of him. But since he's kind of got the jump on me, I'm going to see if I can. I'm a G-man. It's like, babyface, drop your weapons. We got you covered.
He responds.
Boys are outside with Tommy guns.
He responds with, "Come and get it, copper." Doesn't look like he's listening.
Gun. All right. So
our declaration phase. So we had a little bit of dialogue there between the characters. Now you gotta tell me what you're gonna do next. You got a guy. He's got a gun. He's pointed right at you.
Well, I'm gonna have to, if it looks like he is going to fire on me, he's not going to give up. I'm going to say, "I'm a G-man. A little wet behind the ears. It's like, this is your last chance, babyface, or I'll fill you full of lead. Come in quiet."
All right.
The Cubs need a slugger too. So, when you get out, you'll be able to play for them. They need some help.
All right. He answers with a gunshot.
Ah, damn it.
So I got to go back to
never trust the Detroit Lions or Tigers.
Okay, so he doesn't get an aiming bonus because he's just firing right off the cuff. There's no coverage rules or anything going on here. So this is just a straight up basically a straight up gunfight from
shootout.
close range. Somebody's going down. All right, so he is going to shoot. Rolls a 99.
God
Somehow this guy, who must be a great ball player, but he's not a very good shot.
99's bad. Oh, jeez. I
Shoots you and almost clips you in the ear, but the bullet just goes right through that leather chair.
I thought
you have a chance to respond if you like.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to shoot this guy. It's like, all right. So for shooting,
it's your agility.
That would be a agility. So let me, I have a 54 agility. So I have to roll under a 54. True, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I was checking the modifier table to see if I want to modify it, but go ahead and roll.
15.
Oh, okay. All right, so a 38 does 5 damage. Okay, so he takes 5 wound damage. I'm going to mark this down here. So, bam, you shoot this guy right in his upper left shoulder, and he goes stumbling against that far wall. So he's about maybe 5 feet more further away from you. It's like, oh,
son of a gun!
But he's going to shoot back.
Ah, damn it.
All right.
Can I die for cover? Behind the chair?
Yes, you can. So now what we're going to do is, this is where we get into the modifiers for running, leaping, and jumping. And if we look at the sequence of, let's look at the sequence.
My agility sucks though, but.
Yeah, so movement is going to be handled before shots, according to the rules. Okay. So now, do you want to jump behind the desk?
Which is closer, the chair or the desk?
The desk.
Okay. Yeah, I want to try to got my shot off. I see he's about to shoot me. Now I'm going to go try to get cover.
Okay. Go ahead and make an agility check for me, just to make sure you don't botch it. It's going to be a pretty easy roll.
Damn it. No, it's not. 71.
No, the only thing I was looking for is like 100. I mean, it's easy to jump over a desk. I just want to make sure you didn't totally fudge it.
Botch it.
Trip over a chair or something. So you managed to like leap over the desk onto the other side. So now you're between that big leather chair and the desk.
Right. Do I get modifiers for cover, or
you will?
Not something? Okay, I will.
Yeah. So you're going to get So there's a bunch of modifiers here. So I'm going to roll for him 84. That is not going to hit.
Okay.
You hear him firing, bam, bam.
And I'm going to be like, come on, baby face, give it up. You're dead to rights.
Okay, so we're going to move into the next sequence. What do you want to do? Now you have some cover. You can pop up from behind the desk and shoot at him and still retain your, let's see, your -30 modifier, defensive modifier for cover. So
I do have a question though. Is there a like a persuasion to see if this guy's going to give up? I mean, he's already been shot. You know, it's like, is there anything I could do?
A presence check.
All right, let me do a present. Oh shit, my presence sucks. It's like 9.
I thought it was like 9. No, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
It's a D10 roll.
Oh,
but there are, DM, GM, modifiers here, right? Based on how I think he's going to act, right?
But
go ahead and roll. Let's see what
I'm going to try to bring this guy in alive. I mean, I'm a rookie. I'm, I got a lucky shot off, and he's a famous ball player. So I am going to try to persuade him to give it up. You can always play for the Cubs.
So we're going to shoot for like a 2 or under.
3. Oh, well, I got a 3.
Roll through. Okay, well, so you're like, give it up, baby doll. You're wounded. I gotcha. Give it up. And he hesitates for a moment. So he's like pointing the gun at you, but you're kind of getting through to him a little bit. He's unsure of himself. So,
so that was my turn.
So he's just, I'm going to say he just misses his action for this turn because he's just unsure whether or not he wants to either A, give up, B, run, or C, shoot you.
Okay.
So that'll bring us to the next turn. So what do you want to do now? Remember, these are like 1 second long. So it's like bam, 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 bam.
Okay. So I'm going to try to persuade him one more time because I heard the hesitation, and I'm going to try one more time to convince him.
Okay.
Like, baby doll, listen, I don't want to plug you, but I will if I have to, but listen to reason. 4.
Oh, he responds by trying to shoot you.
Wait, why am I laughing? Well, I tried.
Ooh. 22. Oh, but with the cover, he does not hit you. He would hit you normally. You would take a bullet, but you have enough cover that it hits the desk.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well,
you can shoot back.
I'm going to shoot back.
Or try to persuade him again.
Well, listen. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm shooting. Okay. Agility.
Yep.
Is my shooting. So I have to roll under a 54. 58. Oh, God. 58.
Okay. You miss him. He shoots back. He's going to need a really good roll. It's hard to hit you. 47 is a miss.
Damn these dice. Dude, I need to start cheating. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me re-roll. Oh, I got an 01.
All right, next round. Unless you're moving or doing something different, I assume you guys are just firing at each other.
Not moving anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, because.
All right. So does he go or do I go?
You go first.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's kind of simultaneous, but.
Okay. Yeah. This guy is not listening to reason. I'm going to do another roll. 60. So.
Okay.
I'm full in the wall, full of lead.
Ooh. He clips you. All right.
Damn it.
All right. He shoots you through your left forearm and does 5 damage. So you're going to mark off 5 wound damage on your sheet.
All right. So that's 5 wound damage. 3, 4, 5. I'll be like, all right, you son of a bitch. Now I'm pissed.
And you have 20 hit points, right?
20.
Right. So you're not at half yet. Remember, when you get to half damage, then it's problems start.
Then it's curtains for you.
Okay, what do you want to do now?
I try to be
just going back and forth.
I was shooting those last 2 warning shots, hoping to persuade you to give it up. And then you plug me. It's curtains for you, babyface. This time I'm going to roll good.
You still missed.
93.
It's just like, again, you're a young rookie. You're bouncing a bunch of shots off the wall.
Dude, my new.
He's gonna shoot back at you.
My new nickname is going to be like
miss.
Shoots McGee or something like that.
So he rolled 59. He missed. So you can.
All right. So that is how many shots? Is that 5 shots so far?
Oh yeah, we need to keep track of that. I think each of us have taken 4.
Okay, so I have 2 more rounds left. Okay.
The audience can let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it's 4.
Yeah, it's either 4 or 5.
Right.
So if it's 4, all right, I'm going to shoot again because I'm like, there's no way I can keep on rolling that high. I'm going to have to get like in the 20s. I'm going to guess 26. I'll roll it right here. 48. Okay, close enough for Jess.
That hits.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
48.
That's 5 more damage on him.
Okay.
Okay. So now, you shoot him in the gut.
Oh.
And again, he crashes up against the wall, and he drops his gun, and he just raises up his hands. Says, "I give up, copper. It isn't worth it. It's not worth it." You can take me and don't kill me.
So I walk up to him.
He's all bleeding and everything. He's over half of his hit points are gone. So he's got all kinds of negatives, and yeah, he can't fight anymore.
I'm going to do a Dirty Harry and go over to him. It's like, you know, in all this confusion, do you fire 5 shots or 6 shots? But I don't know.
True. You fired 5, right? I mean, you're almost out.
Yeah. So I have 1 round left, but I'm not going to shoot him.
There are point blank rules.
Well, no.
That might be against regulations. Unless you want to go full Dirty Harry.
No, I won't. Dude, I love the Dirty Harry movies. Man, the 70s were so awesome. I'm going to watch like Magnum Force and Dirty Harry tonight. I love
this game can be adapted for that, but again, we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Dude, yeah, because I have 2. Oh, dude, yeah, you write the Dirty Harry. I'm doing those 2, the Barney Miller that's already been mentioned, and the one I told you about last night. Right. You do the Dirty Harry, and then see if you get sued. I'm just saying. I would like to see if I can staunch the wounds. His wounds. Now, or do we need to go into that?
I mean, I can look really quick.
No. The quicky's gone long enough, so let's go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have like first aid skill or anything,
right?
So it would be more of a case of you just getting him to the hospital. He's not bleeding out, he's not dying, but he's over half his hit points and he's messed up. So you have handcuffs.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cuff him, and tell him next time, give up.
Okay, so. The other thing that you do, just to cut to the chase here, is you investigate the room a bit. You find some large stacks of cash in the desks. And you also find like a bookie notebook with all kinds of gambling information and numbers racket stuff in there. You find some notes from Rothstein and his henchmen. So you find this evidence that basically links.
I love this.
Yeah,
I might get a promotion.
Baby Doll to a vast criminal conspiracy of fixing Major League or American League baseball games. Right, so we can't have a repeat of the Black Sox scandal because that was the previous year. And that was terrible, right?
Oh, it was terrible. I lost a lot of money on that game.
Yeah. we won't say anything.
Hopefully history will look back on that period of time and maybe not judge them so much.
That's right. But justice has prevailed on this day. So you drag this guy back to your car. You bring him in. He's booked. And then the next day in the newspaper says, Detroit center fielder, Baby Doll, out for the year with injuries. Investigation pending.
Yes.
And that wraps up our little quickie. So that's just a quick example of how to adjudicate a gunfight, move around, do observation checks. There are a lot of other kinds of rules and different things that we will get into in episode 2 when we talk about settings and scenarios. And
I promise next time, prostitution.
Oh, it's a requirement now.
Well, yeah,
the audience expects prostitution now. Okay.
I made the kit especially for the prostitution.
That's right. So
I want to roll my STD. There's an STD chart, right?
I don't know. I didn't see one. You could probably create one. I mean, back then syphilis was like deadly, right? I mean, isn't that what Capone died from? It was.
Yeah. And
you rot away in Alcatraz from syphilis?
Yes. So. There's no cure.
But anyway, we'll talk about that stuff in the next episode. This one's gone on long enough.
I know how long. This has been like 4 hours.
I know it's been a while. So with that, unless you have anything else, Michael, we should probably wrap it up. And then
bored people enough. So, and you got another episode. We got 2 episodes of this stuff.
Rings out. So rings out. Okay.
Hold on. Where's my camera? There we go. Okay. Power rings activated.
3D. Remember? Okay.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
All right. Roll the credits.
Got it.